Alright, everyone, we do have a tornado warning in effect for southeastern Muskegon County and northern Ottawa County. So, right now, that is over the Ravenna area, headed toward Kent City and Sparta. So, I would give yourself a little bit of lead time here and head down to your safe place. We also have severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Grand Rapids, and we have another tornado warning in effect now. This other tornado warning is in effect for central and southeastern Montcalm counties until 10:45, and you can see the rotation on the radar there. So this one is absolutely meaning business. Now that's right by Stanton and Sheridan, and that is moving off to the northeast. So that's going to head toward Crystal and Sumner. Sorry, I got to clean this up a little bit. So again, we got multiple tornado warnings in effect right now. It is time to seek your safe place. Don't waste time. Get there now. If you don't have a basement, a central room in your home will work just fine, as long as it is away from windows and you have as many walls between you and the outside as possible. So right now we have two tornado warnings in effect, one for central Montcalm County and the other is for southern Muskegon County as well as northeastern Ottawa County. Severe thunderstorm warning for Grand Rapids, and we got severe thunderstorm warnings popping up around the other cells coming through as well. And the other is for... Alright, so again, we are looking at these two tornado warnings. We have one with very defined definition over by the Stanton area as well as Sheridan. Again, Montcalm County, that is south of Edmore and McBride, moving off to the north and the east. Eventually, that'll likely head into Gratiot County, so Alma, St. Louis, I would just kind of be on standby right now. We still have that tornado warning in effect for southeastern Muskegon and northern Ottawa counties as well. This one, a little more difficult to see, but definitely keeping a close eye on this as well as it moves over toward the east. So I'm going to switch radar modes. This is what we call velocity. We can see the wind, whether it's coming toward or from the radar. So when you have greens and reds, that's all you need, right? If it's going toward the radar one way and away from the radar the other way, it's like having a pencil between your hands. That pencil spins, so that's how we know the atmosphere is spinning and rotating when we see those colors close together. This right here, a little different. That's likely a Boeing segment coming on through. So let's switch over to the normal radar that you are all used to seeing. We have a lot of storm activity coming on through over Lake Michigan right now. Again, multiple severe thunderstorm warnings. That would include Muskegon, Newaygo, Ottawa, Kent counties over toward Montcalm and Gratiot County, all under severe thunderstorm warnings as of this time, which is 11:15 p.m. Unfortunately, a quick check off to the north, we do have some heavy rain coming down in the Sheboygan River watershed up there as well. That's not going to help anything, but I'm going to keep focused on these tornado warnings as they are scooting on through. There is a lot of lightning out there. I've been seeing lightning in Grand Rapids for the better part of 2 hours now, and there's a lot of lightning out there. Torrential rains and likely some hail coming through as well. Another thing we can look at while I'm waiting for an update on the scans here would be the possibility for hail. So over by Stanton and Sheridan, we are likely to have about 2-inch hail with that storm, and maybe over by Grand Haven and Coopersville coming in with a pretty powerful cell there, also having some hail with it. Could be some large hail, and that would be headed toward Grand Rapids. So if you have a vehicle outdoors in Grand Rapids, now is the time to put it in the garage. So again, we have a tornado warning in effect for northern Ottawa County as well as southern Muskegon County. And then we have another tornado warning in effect for Montcalm County. by Stanton and Sheridan, moving off to the east. Alright, I'm going to leave it pixelated because that's how I like to look at things and see how they work out, so we'll just do that. Now, notice this cell over by Stanton and Sheridan has a very defined hook echo on it, so this is likely to be a strong tornado, potentially on the ground. There's also, there it is, 1.5-inch hail, which is ping pong ball sized hail. So again, I'm looking at this supercell here. You can see a very defined hook echo. That's not going to work. Let's just turn it, it's black. So we got rotating this way with the hook echo, and then this is what we call the inflow notch, and we can tell that there's rotation right there with the storm coming on through. So again, 1.5-inch hail, and then over toward this side, we might be having another tornado warning issued over here. I'll keep a close eye on it, but Coopersville has a very heavy thunderstorm over them at the moment, and we're seeing a lot of activity pop up as well. So this is eventually going to drift down to the south. Areas along and south of I-94 will get this eventually as well, but it's going to be a couple of hours. Right now we're focusing kind of on the middle part of the state. So I'm going to switch over to a different mode here, and this other mode does have the potential to show us if there's debris flying around with this tornado as well. That might just be reflecting off the hail in the storm there, so not necessarily seeing debris, and again might be reflecting off the hail over here too. So this is technically called correlation coefficient. I know it's a complicated word, but it basically means can we see debris in the atmosphere. So this, when we have these normal colors, this like pinkish to beige color, that means that everything it's seeing is pretty uniform. So it's like, oh, raindrops, it's all raindrops, that's good. Now when it sees things that are different sizes, that's when it puts out the bigger color. So it's like, wait, hailstone, raindrop, there's things different size here, let me, put a color to that. We like that because when we have the potential for a tornado on the ground, we can then see the debris that is flying up in the clouds. So that would be what we call a debris ball, if you've heard of that before. So correlation coefficient is really cool. Think of it as, vanilla ice cream would all come back this color, but if you start putting M&Ms in there, it's going to come back like a debris ball, basically. Same kind of thing. So let's switch it back over to velocity, because I want to keep a close eye on this one in Montcalm County for sure. The tornado warning for Muskegon and Ottawa County looks like it is in the process of being expired. And over here in Montcalm County, I mean, this is a very dangerous situation. I can clearly see the rotation here on the radar. So again, this is Montcalm County. And look at the last couple of scans, how you can see this thing rotating as it gets away from the radar. Let's see if I can go back just a couple more frames. Yeah, see how you can just see the reds and the greens even swirling around each other a little bit there? So there is definitely some hardcore rotation going on in Montcalm County. If a tornado is not on the ground, one could drop at any second. That's why it is very important to get into your safe place and take warnings as seriously as possible. We saw the Union City tornado, right? How quickly that formed in those videos. Same thing can happen here. That's why we urge people to take shelter during tornado warnings, even if you don't see anything immediately causing damage on the ground. It could happen very, very shortly. So again, tornado warning for Montcalm County, likely until about 10:30, 10:45. That might be extended over to the east. So again, Elma, St. Louis. Elma and St. Louis, please be on standby, if you will. This could be headed your direction. Otherwise, checking things back over to the west here, we still got these couple severe thunderstorm warnings. I'm just going to be switching around modes a little bit here because that's what I like to do, and that's how I get a good idea of what's going on all over the board here. So again, this warning is going to expire here in a little bit. Not really concerned about that one anymore. But a lot of these storms, again, from Grand Haven to Coopersville, that will be drifting over to the east, and now we're getting down into Port Sheldon, West Olive, probably starting to see some action. That'll all head into the city of Grand Rapids, and there is the possibility of flash flooding there yet again. But look at this cell over in Montcalm County. You can just see the hook echo on it. You can see it hooking around, and you can tell this thing has some serious spin going on to it here. I'm going to put this in motion as well, just so we can see how the storm is progressing. Yep, there we go. So it is moving pretty much due east with a little bit of a northeast tilt to it. And again, a lot of thunder and lightning starting to come in over from the west from very heavy thunderstorms. But you can see how everything in this whole line is kind of just slowly going to progress down to the south and east, right? So eventually, the rest of the state will get in on some action. It's going to be a long night. It's going to be a very long night. The tornado watch that is in effect for lower Michigan is in effect until 4 o'clock in the morning. And if you see flashes on my face, it's because I am in Grand Rapids and well, there's a lot of thunderstorm activity going on out here. So look at all the thunder and lightning by Coopersville now. I mean, this storm means business. Likely to have some pretty intense hail there. Let's take a quick check of the hail once more. So Coopersville probably just got some pretty large hail, and Stanton, Sheridan, at least in the middle of those two, likely had some pretty large hail as well. So you can see that we just had an update to the tornado warning there. So let's flip back over to velocity. So they're really tightening it up around this area, which is good. We don't want to overwarn areas and then cause, you know, like a cried wolf situation. So good call in the National Weather Service. Now that is north of Carson City, moving toward Crystal and to Sumner. And eventually this will be into Gratiot County. Jurisdiction wise, I believe that's still Grand Rapids. It might be the Detroit National Weather Service. I apologize, I'm not sure who covers that county right now. So you can see we're actively trimming things off of this tornado warning here. So let's take a check again and see if there's any more information coming in. Max hail could be 1.5 inches in diameter. Tornado warning remains in effect until 10:45 p.m. for southeastern Montcalm County. Tornado and ping pong ball sized hail. Flying debris could be dangerous. Take cover now. So yes, definitely a very, very dangerous situation. Make sure you're taking cover in Montcalm County. Headed toward Crystal right now and eventually over towards Sumner, and then we'll get likely into the Gratiot County area. Notice it looks like we're headed right toward one of the airports in Gratiot County too. Let's see what those readings are like. Otherwise, still just a prolific amount of thunder and lightning across Grand Haven and Coopersville. Just a lot. And I can see it out my window here because I face west. There's a lot out there. So just reiterating, I do repeat myself a lot, by the way, because with hundreds of people watching, they come and go all the time. So it is important to kind of reestablish where we're at in the conversation here regularly. So if you wonder why I do that, that is why I do that. So once more, we have a tornado warning in effect for central Montcalm County until 10:45 p.m. And you can see the obvious spin there. This is velocity when we have the greens and reds next to each other. One is going toward the radar. One is going away from the radar, and think of it like a pencil, marker, pen between your hands. When they go like this, opposite directions, it rotates, right? Same thing with the tornado. Very easy way to tell if one is potential on the radar there. So that is a lot of spin. Granted, we're a little higher up in the atmosphere here, but that is a lot of spin in that storm. So that rotating updraft is going several thousand feet off the ground over that direction. And we still have severe thunderstorm warnings for Ottawa County, as well as Kent County, Montcalm, and Gratiot counties as well. And again, watching this tornado warning very closely here. So let's switch back over to our debris detector and see if we can see anything. Now remember, this could also be picking up on hail, so it's important not to jump the gun with information here. I think what we're seeing off to the north of this is the hail core of the storm, which makes sense. That's where the heavier the actual updraft is, the hook is down here where the tornado warning is. We'll flip back over to velocity. All right. So zooming out just a little bit, that's really about the only area that we are watching at the moment. Let's get motion on this thing. It's not moving very quickly. So this one is moving east at 35 miles per hour. 35 miles per hour. Again, just north of Carson City, but I'm sure your sirens are going off there. Still a good idea to either be in your safe place or be ready to get into your safe place at a moment's notice. Alright, so let's see here. See if I can put on some storm reports. They are on already. We're just not seeing any, so that is good. We can see if there's some chasers out there. There shouldn't be. You shouldn't be chasing at night. Wisconsin and Ohio, so that is a no. Okay, there we go. Alright, so again, tornado warning is still in effect for Montcalm County. Headed right toward Crystal, and then eventually Sumner, and eventually could work its way into Gratiot County as well. There's a fresh update of the radar right there. We still have a lot of rotation with it. Let's take a check of the correlation coefficient again. I think we're just seeing hail once more, not looking for a debris ball, so that is good. Might just have a rotating cloud that's not actually dropping a tornado, but again, that can drop a tornado any moment. So all the little plus signs that you see are lightning strikes being detected by the lightning network. That's a lot. There's a lot. So I want to look over Coopersville just for a minute. And look at all these things. There are so many lightning strikes over Coopersville and eventually getting into Grand Rapids now as well. Keep an eye on that. I'm going to check and see if we're registering any wind gusts right now. I'm only seeing wind gusts up to about 43 miles per hour on the west side of Grand Rapids. So that is over by Walker. 43 miles per hour in Walker. So that is, it's good gusts of wind for sure. Technically, to be severe, it's about 58 to 60 miles per hour. Tornado warning updated. I saw it. We're still looking at radar indicated. So no one has confirmed that this is on the ground yet. But again, it's the point is that it could drop one at any moment when we don't actually see one on the ground. Then in addition to all this, these storms are moving slowly, which means some areas are going to get a couple inches of rain overnight tonight, and then we have another round coming tomorrow night, and then potentially another round after that, and maybe another round for the weekend. So we're not done seeing flooding yet either, by any stretch of the imagination. Taking a quick check off to the north, we got your kind of garden variety thunderstorms going on up here, but we have a lot of dams that are, let's just say they're in jeopardy. We have a couple thunderstorms still over the tip of the mitt by Sheboygan as well. But again, down to the south here, focusing on the severe thunderstorm warnings that are in Grand Rapids, Holland, Grand Haven, over toward the tornado warning in Montcalm County. So we like looking at velocity because we can really see where it is, right? So they're getting as close as I can right over Crystal. And it looks like, you know, I've never been to Crystal, but it's by a little southern version of Crystal Lake, not the Crystal Lake by Sleeping Bear Sand Dunes, but just a little community there. I hope everyone's okay, and I hope that nothing is actually on the ground there. Again, moving east with maybe a slight northeast tilt, which would take it toward Gratiot County. And this is still in effect until 10:45 p.m. Man, the amount of lightning with this is just unreal. There is so much lightning. See if I can see anything happening in downtown Grand Rapids here. It doesn't look like there's even a breath of wind right now. I got my eye on a couple flags out there. I'll let you guys know what I see coming through downtown here. But again, as of right now, we have the severe thunderstorm warnings and the tornado warning that is in effect for Montcalm County. For Montcalm County. We definitely have some strong winds that are coming through Kent County, though, especially over by Cedar Springs. You see how there's that bright blue spot there? So this is a little higher up in the cloud, but that could be winds of about 60 miles per hour going from Kent City, Sparta, Cedar Springs, and Rockford. Could be. We also have, it looks like, a little pop of wind in Walker right now. Now that could be closer to the surface, being closer to the radar site here. So Walker and the north side of Grand Rapids might have a little pocket of about 50 to 60 mile per hour winds coming on through. And then I'll turn this off because we're too far away from the radar site for that to make any sense to show. So right now, again, we're still looking at this rotation. It's very obvious that the storm is rotating. And the point of this isn't because there's a tornado on the ground, but that one could drop so fast that people wouldn't have time to get to shelter. So being proactive and issuing a warning for a rotating storm is always the way to go. You don't want to issue the warning after it's on the ground doing damage. We want to warn people so they can get to safety before that's happening. So still, same old there for the last 30 minutes or so. Again, Crystal, be in your safe places. And we got these higher winds on the north side of Grand Rapids too. Still not seeing much in the way of wind here, at least in Grand Rapids, but again, it could happen momentarily as that little area of brighter colors showing up in the Walker area. Kind of right over the headquarters of Meyer, if you know where that is along 96. Once more, though, I want to reiterate I'm watching a tornado warning in Montcalm County. This could be more broad rotation a little bit further up in the cloud, but it is definitely a rotating thunderstorm. No confirmation yet that there is one on the ground, but it could form very, very quickly. And that's why I'm going to keep watching it here for you as it progresses to the east. Does look like it is weakening overall, which is great, so the warning might be allowed to expire. What happens then is you issue a severe thunderstorm warning with the words tornado possible in it, and then we try to communicate that to people as best as possible. But this rotation was so defined and so strong that it definitely needed a tornado warning for sure. And quick plug, I do have the Weather Call service above me that I have partnered with. Weather Call Next Gen is great. I got a call on my phone when the severe thunderstorm warning was issued for Grand Rapids. So the best part about this is it'll wake you up in the middle of the night. And you also get a text with a radar, and the radar has lightning data on it, and it's included in your little subscription fee for the whole year. So it's really cool to have that service, to have that weather information just get sent right to your phone. Okay, so again, I'm still watching the tornado warning that is in Montcalm County. I'm going to stay on with you here until the warning expires. It's going to expire likely in about 9 minutes from now. But those readings are, again, that can drop a tornado any moment. So all the little plus. All right, I just put the sign up link to the weather call service down in the comments if you're interested in that. No obligation, but it's really nice to have. I'm a huge fan of this thing so far. Huge fan. All right, so we're now trimming off the top part of the severe thunderstorm warnings there for Muskegon County, now expired, and the northwestern part of Kent County is now expired as well. Let's switch over to regular radar mode that you are used to seeing. We got a good potent line of storms coming through. Again, with that one tornado warning that I think is going to be allowed to expire here any moment because the rotation is starting to weaken a little bit. I'm going to keep an eye on what's going on in Grand Rapids as well. Could be having a little bit of wind going through Alpine between 3 Mile and Leonard Street. That would be crossing the river going into the Creston neighborhood up by Plainfield as well. Could be having some pretty strong wind gusts between Belmont, Plainfield, Plainfield Township, down into the north side of Grand Rapids, again the Creston neighborhood. Keeping an eye on some potentially high winds coming through there. Back over to the tornado warning in Montcalm County. Again, this looks a little different than what we saw earlier, right? Let's put a little bit of a loop on this again. So as you can tell from the loop here, it does appear to be weakening a little bit. So I do think that this warning will be allowed to expire unless someone has confirmed a tornado on the ground or we see this tighten back up again. See how the severe thunderstorm warning says tornado possible, so I do think this will be allowed to expire. Otherwise, just keeping an eye on these higher potential wind speeds around Grand Rapids. So when we get into the blues here, there could be 60-mile-per-hour winds. Again, that would be from Belmont up through Plainfield area. Could have some 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts there, maybe some 40 to 50 ones on the north side of Grand Rapids. The flags that I'm looking at, they're definitely blowing, so there's a lot of wind out there. I'm right in downtown. But I wouldn't say that they're going to blow off the pole or anything, so not anything like that. Alright, let's turn this off quick. And there it goes. Oop, I thought it expired. Oh, there it goes. Okay. So the tornado warning has now expired for Montcalm County. So as of 10:39 p.m., we don't have tornado warnings active right now in Michigan, but the tornado watch is in effect until 4 o'clock in the morning. We have a long night ahead of us. A very long night ahead of us, especially for me. So again, watching for the potential for some very strong winds coming in on the north side of Grand Rapids. Let me see really quickly if we got anything that is starting to show up now. I am seeing a 43-mile-per-hour gust by Allendale. I got a 50-mile-per-hour gust on Cedar Springs. So that blob of blue up by Cedar Springs, between Cedar Springs and Rockford, 50-mile-per-hour gust. And let's see here. Yep, so 42 in Allendale, 50 up by Cedar Springs. Getting a lot of gusts in the 33, 35 mile per hour range in downtown. It's now pouring down here, so the storm has arrived. Again, any of these could easily have, it looks like between 30 and 50 mile per hour wind gusts based on what I'm seeing right now. And again, they're warned for 60. It does not take much to get that extra 10 miles per hour with a very strong thunderstorm updraft and downdraft situation going on. So again, 40 to 50 mile per hour winds around the Grand Rapids area, and the heavy storms are now starting to make their way into town here. I'm seeing reduced visibility and some pretty windy conditions. So let's switch back over now. I don't really need velocity on here the whole time. These are the actual storms, what they look like. Oh, we got a tornado warning off to the north now. So this is a fresh tornado warning that is now in for parts of Wexford County. We have northern Wexford County, southeastern Grand Traverse County, southwestern Kalkaska County, and northwestern Missaukee County. That is until 11:15 for radar indicated rotation. Let's go up to the Gaylord weather site and take a look at this. Yeah, we got a baddie of a storm up here too. So this is right over Mesick and Buckley right now, northwest of Cadillac. And that is moving toward Manton, Fife Lake, Paradise Township, and Union Township. Everyone there needs to be in their safe place. Remember, if you don't have a basement, you can always go to the most interior room of your home. You want as many walls between you and the outside as possible. So this is far away from the radar site, but let's take a look, and we can see that there is a definite rotating updraft there, just to the northeast of Mesick, which means this is just crossed to M37. And this is moving off to the northeast at about 25 miles per hour. The good thing with it not moving so fast is it gives you more time to get into your safe place and react. So that is a good thing. So again, we went a couple minutes without a tornado warning. Now we already have another tornado warning off to the north. Northern Wexford County, southern Grand Traverse County, extreme southwestern Kalkaska County, as that moves off to the north and the east. So again, zooming in nice and tight here, we got Baxter, followed by Fife Lake. And this is literally right where 131 turns back into just like a state highway, so it goes over the Manistee River there. Watching this as it moves off to the north and the east. It just left the Mesick area. Again, tornado warning until 11:15 p.m. This is south of Traverse City, north of Cadillac, southwest of Kalkaska, and northwest of Lake City, but headed right for Fife Lake and Fife Lake Township. Got a very heavy thunderstorm coming through downtown Grand Rapids right now as well. Not seeing anything wind gust wise up there. Let's just put this on a quick loop and see. There it is, yep. So again, this looks like it is going to go more close to Manton, probably, just south of Fife Lake. Again, right where 131 goes from being an interstate highway back down into just a regular state highway. That's what we're looking at, that area right there. Northern Wexford County. Again, Fife Lake and Fife Lake Township as well. Alright, let's stop that. Not seeing much in terms of correlation coefficient. Let's also take a quick check of the hail. Could have a little bit of hail up there with that. And likely seeing some penny-sized hail down to the south as well. So again, we have the tornado warning still in effect. And if you see flashes on my face, that's because I'm in a severe thunderstorm warning in Grand Rapids right now. So, ooh, that thunder got me. I apologize. I'm sorry. That startled me a little bit. Okay, serious mode. We have that tornado warning still in effect for northern Wexford County. And again, this is just south of Traverse City, but obviously severe thunderstorm warnings are going on elsewhere also. think the live feed is delayed by a few minutes. So keep that in mind that when you're hearing me talk, it was actually a couple minutes ago. For me, it takes that long to process through the servers and get to your feed. So definitely early warning times are needed for a lot of these. Again, tornado warning for northern Wexford County, southeastern Grand Traverse, southwestern Kalkaska counties. Radar indicated right now, also northwestern Missaukee County, excuse me, until 11:15. That is moving to the northeast at 25 miles per hour. So we have an active tornado warning right now in northern lower Michigan. So again, watch. And I'll keep an update and keep checking everything here. Just look at a couple of things on my phone every now and then to make sure I'm not missing anything. All right. So once again, tornado warning in effect for Grand Traverse, Wexford, Kalkaska, Missaukee counties as the storm moves off to the northeast at 25 miles per hour. You can see on the velocity here that we have those reds and greens right next to each other. Green is toward the radar, red is away. So picture your hands going toward and away from the radar, put a pencil in there, and the pencil would rotate. It's exactly what we're looking at here. We can see the rotation in that thunderstorm. So again, this is moving off to the northeast at only 25 miles per hour, so that's good. It gives people a lot of warning times. We now have another severe thunderstorm warning for Ionia County down to the south. I want to take a quick peek at that. We have, again, a very heavy thunderstorm over all of Grand Rapids now. Could be leading to some flash flooding out there, but it's just, it's really coming down with a lot of thunder and lightning. Same thing with Gratiot County. We have a very heavy thunderstorm that had the tornado warning earlier with it, now getting in toward St. Louis and Alma, Ithaca, and down by Newark, and eventually Maple Rapids and Clinton County as well. Got a couple thunderstorms from Midland to Bay City that are not severe, but again, we have this severe thunderstorm warning and tornado warning off to the north. See if we got a new scan and take an updated look. There's that. So we can still see it on the velocity, a nice tight rotation there. Correlation coefficient. Take a peek. Let's see if that lines up with some hail. Now that could be some hail. I'm not really getting the vibe that what we're seeing on correlation coefficient would be an actual tornado on the ground. I think we would have some brighter blues than what we were seeing there. It could just be that it's detecting hail as well. Again, that's moving off to the northeast at 25 miles per hour. So 25 miles per hour, going about 10 miles, that would be about 25 minutes till it gets to Fife Lake. Again, about 25 minutes from now until it gets to Fife Lake. So that would be at about 11:15 p.m. We've already had a very active start to severe weather season across our states with numerous tornadoes, tornado warnings, fatalities, flash flooding, all that kind of stuff, and it's not slowing down. Again, off to the north, keeping a close eye on Sheboygan. We got the watershed up here that is just constantly taking on more water, including right now. Sheboygan River watershed, from what I can remember from my memory, on Google goes about like this, and it's all going out to a point in Lake Huron through Sheboygan. So this whole area drains down into that. So any rain there is just not good at all right now. Still radar indicated tornado. Warning is set to expire in 23 minutes. We now have another tornado warning down to the south as well. This is just east of the Grand Rapids Airport. Okay, so damage threat for this severe thunderstorm warning is considerable. I am not going to get a phone call from Weather Call Next Gen because I'm not in the polygon. So let's take a look here what's going on. Southeastern Kent County and southwestern Michigan at 10:51 p.m. over the Gerald R. Ford International Airport. Okay, so we have a tornado warning now for southeastern Kent County, just east of the Gerald Ford International Airport. This includes Lowell, Caledonia, over where M6 meets I-96 on the east side of Grand Rapids there as well. And that would also be M50, where M50 goes down to the south. So we're talking Alto. And again, we got a new radar scan off to the north. So checking out this cell. Still some pretty good rotation. So Manton, Fife Lake, and Manton definitely be in your safe place. This is moving at 25 miles per hour off to the north and the east. The tornado warning to the south in Kent County, south of Grand Rapids. Oh wow, yeah, you can see it right there. So this is exceptionally close to the radar to the point where we cannot see a whole lot. Exceptionally close to the radar there. Could have some hail coming through, but we'll just leave it on velocity. I think we're seeing a little bit of a hook notch, but let's put it on the... Alright. That's also where the National Weather Service is, so I mean, they could have seen something, but... So right now, to recap. 10:54 p.m. You might be seeing this a couple minutes delayed once it goes through Facebook servers. But as of 10:54 p.m., we now have 3 tornado warnings that just popped up on my screen. As you can see there, I can already see the little notch that they were spying on. So this one, pretty easy. You can see that this is going up this way with an inflow notch coming in like this, indicating rotation right there in the tornado warning. So that tornado warning is going to be for some areas that have already had one tonight. This is for northeastern Ionia County and southeastern Montcalm County. So southeastern Montcalm County now. We still have the one in southeastern Kent County. And then we have the one off to the north for Grand Traverse, as well as Wexford counties, Missaukee, and Kalkaska counties. We're going to flip it back over to our high-res velocity. And that one is considerably, I would definitely say, we absolutely need to be in our safe places between Carson City and Hubbardston. Palo as well. Looks like there's a couple streets there. Joe's Market and Palo. This is moving off to what appears to be the east-southeast. So we could have ping pong ball sized hail with this as it moves down to the south and the east. It's moving at 20 miles per hour. 20 miles per hour. The one in Grand Rapids is moving at 40 miles per hour. So if you are anywhere along I-96 east of Grand Rapids, getting toward Lowell, Lowell Charter Township, and eventually Clarksville, again, along I-96, that would be the exits for M50, getting toward Nash Road up there, so please be careful. The tornado sirens are going off for downtown Grand Rapids now. They shouldn't be, but they must trigger all of Kent County. If I crack the window, you'll be able to hear it. So a lot of folks are going to be hearing this. That was an incredibly delayed. So that was a pretty delayed activation of the warnings. If you had weather call, you would have gotten a call on your phone the second that warning was issued. So another reason why that is such a great service to have. So again, we have 3 active tornado warnings right now. I'll shut the window, it's going to be loud enough anyway. So 3 active tornado warnings, 1 in Kent County with the sirens going off outside. We have another one in Montcalm County in northern Ionia County. And another off to the north that is getting toward Manton and Fife Lake. And this is a very intense area of wind as well. So this could be having winds of maybe 70 to 80 miles per hour blowing on through. If we look at the winds with this one, so we have inbound, outbound. There's like 120 mile per hour difference in 2 pixels right there. So I am concerned about that one. Absolutely. Let's switch it over to correlation coefficient. Now that one has a debris ball. See how distinctive that is? That is a debris ball. That is a debris ball in southern Montcalm County. Not seeing a debris ball with the one in Grand Rapids and the one off to the north. Let's just check and see. It's far away from the radar site, but we'll take a look anyway. Not seeing one up there. Alright, so if you're hearing a siren go off, it is intimidating, it is scary. Just breathe, get into your safe place, and we'll get through this together. I'll guide you through it. But again, this one over by Carson City, that is what we call a debris ball. That's what I was explaining earlier. The radar, when it's all these other colors, this pink and this beige, you can see it's kind of a uniform color, right? That means that it's seeing all rain, or in some cases all snow, etc. But when it starts to see things that are different shapes flying around the cloud in different sizes, it's like, oh, here's a raindrop, here's a hailstone, here's a 2x4, here's a branch. Then it gives it a blue indicating. So there is likely debris coming with this tornado warning now that is in southern Montcalm County. We're seeing a debris ball with that. So that is going to be a tornado on the ground. In fact, let's see if they updated that wording to it. Yeah, see observed. So now it says an observed tornado. Let's go through this together. The tornado warning remains in effect until 11:30 p.m. for northeastern Ionia and southeastern Montcalm counties. So, again, a tornado is on the ground. Carson City, you have about 10 minutes to get into your safe place. Don't wait. Get down into your safe place. Things you can have in your storm shelter or safe place include shoes, a jacket, a cell phone, your cell phone charger even, a little first aid kit, some money, your wallet, things like that. Wow. So an 80 mile per hour wind gust was just recorded by the National Weather Service at Gerald R. Ford International Airport. So that is an 80 mile per hour confirmed wind gust in Grand Rapids. And now we're seeing that debris ball also for Montcalm County still. Again, Carson City, be in your safe place immediately. Remember, you might be seeing me a couple minutes delayed once it goes through the Facebook server, so it is important to take these immediately. Take them seriously. Let's switch it back over to velocity again. All right, so we are definitely seeing that area of very intense winds blowing on through. Again, 80-mile-per-hour wind gust was recorded at Grand Rapids Gerald R. Ford International Airport. 80-mile-per-hour wind, 80, went through the southeastern side of Grand Rapids. Another tornado warning has now been issued for northern Clinton County and southern Gratiot counties. That is going to be in effect until 11:45 p.m. That is a radar indicated tornado, but of course this one is observed over here. So this is being extended. So if you are in Hubbardston, Maple Rapids, Carson City, please be in your safe place. We just got an update. Carson City, you are like right in the rotation right now. Right in the rotation. So again, that is a tornado on the ground. Carson City to Hubbardston, that is getting toward Gratiot counties as well as Clinton County, moving off to the east. And we have a core of 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts, likely going right over M50 by Alto right now, and Bound Center. That would continue toward Clarksville and maybe Lake Odessa. Okay, I think they finally shut the sirens off in Grand Rapids. Again, tornado on the ground by Carson City. That tornado is on the ground. Let's take a look at our regular radar. And you can see we have very, very intense thunderstorms across the whole area. Lots of thunder and lightning. We still have the tornado warning off to the north as well. Let's check in on this one really quick. Oops, got to change the radar site. There we go. So we're still seeing rotation there and a lot of thunder and lightning, likely with some hail with that rotating thunderstorm. And that tornado warning has been extended as well to include southern Ionia County, Clarksville. That is for you as well. So again, tornado warning now includes Lake Odessa, Carlton, Clarksville, along and south of I-96 in Ionia County. And we still have the tornado warning off to the north as well. So right now, we have 3 tornado warned cells with multiple tornado warnings for some of those. 3 tornado warned cells. I want to take another look at the one by Carson City to see what our debris indicator looks like. It looks like it is kind of fizzling apart, so that would be great. We might have had a brief touchdown and now it is lifted. So you can see that debris ball that I was talking about, this very distinctive blue-green color, right? How it popped up right there and went on through. So I think we had a touchdown for maybe a couple miles, and now it's lifted, but the debris is still up in the cloud. It gets very high up there, and the updraft just keeps lifting stuff, so it can stay up there for a little while. But continuing the tornado warning is a good idea. Now this is, again, Carson City, so we're looking Cleveland Road. I'm not sure if there's an M number assigned to that or not. It might be M... No, not M46. I'm not sure, but Carson City, Cleveland Road going through there, along and south of there. So Maple Rapids, definitely be in your safe place. This is clipping the north side of St. John's. Alright, we'll switch modes here so we can look at the rotation again. And we got the tornado warning off to the north, being chiseled away at. This one's still radar indicated. We're not seeing debris with that one. With these down to the south, we got the sirens going off galore, and that confirmed tornado by Carson City. Confirmed tornado by Carson City. Okay, I got some people I got to text, so I got that out of the way. So again, checking on these tornado warnings. We still have the warning for southern Gratiot County, northern Clinton County. We still have the one for southern Ionia County and northern Barry County. That one did give the Grand Rapids Airport an 80-mile-per-hour wind gust. Off to the north, we still have a tornado warning, although that rotation looks like it's falling apart. Let's put that on loop really quick. Again, this is the tornado warning that went through northern Wexford County, now moving literally over the Manistee River where 131 goes over it. So if you know that Riverside Park with Manistee River where, off 131 you walk down the boardwalk and it's really pretty, that's where this is right now. And that'll be just south of Fife Lake, again moving into southern Kalkaska County. Eventually that'll head toward Grayling and Lake Margrethe, but I think it's just going to keep fizzling out before it gets there. So right now a lot of the attention is going to be down to the south because we have these very strong returns showing up for the Gratiot and Clinton County warning. And the return looks like it might be falling apart a little bit over by Clarksville and Lake Odessa. Alright, let's switch our modes here. Again, we like to look at everything. Alright, so we've trimmed down that warning quite a bit now to basically just include where the actual tornado was witnessed on the ground by Carson City, and that would be mostly for southern Gratiot County. So that would be Perryton, Ashley, and just north of Maple Rapids. It does appear that the storm by Clarksville might be losing some steam, but we'll keep an eye on it because the one in Montcalm County sure spun another one up real quick. And we still got the warning off to the north. A lot of thunder and lightning up by Fife Lake right now as well. I will zoom it out just so we can get an idea of what's going on here. This line is slowly moving down to the south and the east. Put a loop on it here for you. So eventually this is going to come into southwest Michigan and Kalamazoo. It's still going through Chicago right now, but you can see how it's not moving very quick as a whole. It's going to take a while, which also means we're going to have a lot of rain, and the potential for flash flooding is certainly there as well tonight. Alright, so again, we have 3 active tornado warnings. One between Cadillac and Traverse City, another between Ithaca and St. John's, and another between Ionia, Grand Rapids, and Hastings. Lots and lots of thunder and lightning with these as well. Again, there has been a confirmed wind gust of 80 miles per hour that was at the National Weather Service site that is right next to the Grand Rapids Airport. So 80-mile-per-hour winds there. Got a lot of thunder and lightning going on out there as well. It's going to be a night with not much sleep for a lot of people. All right. So let's get a check of our expiration times. The one up by Manton, north of Cadillac, between Traverse City, will expire in 3 minutes at 11:15. The one in Ionia and Berry counties will expire in 18 minutes at 11:30, and the one in Gratiot County, as well as northern Clinton County, will expire at 11:45. So we have 11:15 to the north, 11:30 by Grand Rapids, and 11:45 in central Michigan. Put velocity back on to see if anything's getting swirly over the lake. All right there. Brand new, brand new severe thunderstorm warning. It's like I'm on the same wavelength with the National Weather Service. Weird. All right. So this cell is pretty intense out over Lake Michigan right now. Therefore, we just got a brand new severe thunderstorm warning. Notice how it says tornado possible. So that's something that we're going to watch out for as it comes on shore. That severe thunderstorm warning is until 12:15 a.m. That will be for 60-mile-per-hour winds that could be coming in with that, and maybe some hail too. It's moving at 55 miles per hour. That one's moving a little faster. Excuse me. We'll turn off the sirens. I'm ready to go to sleep, guys. So here again, we still have the 2 tornado warnings in effect: Gratiot County, as well as Ionia County. Let's take a check of the velocity to see what's spinning out there. Not seeing a whole lot with that one in Ionia County, so that one likely weakened. This might have evolved more from a tornado situation to just a really high wind situation here, but let's put a loop on it so we can see the patterns. We like loops for patterns. Yeah, still likely seeing some rotation there. We're far away from the radar site now, so this rotation that it sees will be higher up in the clouds. We definitely have rotation there for sure. Okay, we'll put a stop on that. We'll just take another check of the correlation coefficient to see if we see debris. And we might just be seeing some hail when it's this color. Alright, so see how we got that little blue ball out of nowhere? That's what we call a debris ball. Okay, now we have another tornado warning that just got issued for Fowler, St. John's, over toward Ovid, and Lanesburg. So that is for northern Clinton County. Let's take a look and see if that's another debris ball. We'll put the rotation on. That might be another debris ball showing up with that one there. So that would be just north of Westphalia, south of Pewamo, Fowler, and Riley. And that is moving over to the east at 45 miles per hour now. So it's really important to get into our safe place. Remember, by the time you hear my voice, you're likely about 2 minutes behind by the time it processes through servers and everything on Facebook. So definitely take these seriously and please seek shelter as soon as possible. The tornado warning to the north has been allowed to expire, so we're going to keep our attention down south. We're still holding at 3 active tornado warnings right now. We have 2 in Clinton County, 1 in Gratiot County, and another in Ionia and Berry counties right now for active tornado warnings. Parrington and Ashley could be having some very intense winds come through, and again by Fowler and St. John's as well. Let's take another look at these wind gusts here. Not seeing any reports as of yet, but those could be delayed coming on through. So again, we have 3 active tornado warnings right now. Uh-oh. Am I losing my data? There we go. All right. So this is likely to be a little bit of debris right here from Pawama to Fowler, just south of those areas. From Pawama to Fowler, we now have another tornado warning that has been issued for eastern Gratiot County. So that is for Ashley as well. We have overlapping tornado warnings now, so we are up to 4 active tornado warnings right now. 4 active tornado warnings in the state of Michigan. Not a good time to be out and about, that's for sure. All right, let's put this over here. Okay, so you can see why that was warned. We got potentially very decent rotation up that direction. Looking at rotation just west of 127 in 2 areas. And don't forget, we also have that severe thunderstorm warning with some very high winds that look like they could be coming on shore between Saugatuck over toward Fenville and South Haven. And Allegan, that will eventually move over to you as well. Let's keep an eye on these tornado warnings. Let's see. We are equidistant between 2 radars, I believe. Yes, we are. So this one looks just a little bit better, so we'll keep it on Grand Rapids. Again, multiple areas of rotation. So I think what we're seeing here could be a line of kind of dust being picked up by the wind. And then maybe a little spin up, what we call a land spout or a gustnado that occurred with that one. Still have some pretty strong winds going over toward Carlton. You can see some higher winds going through the Portland area right now, and then of course we got the high winds with these coming on through as well. Radar indicated, we're back up to radar indicated for that one, and radar indicated there as well. So these are all radar indicated as of right now, but a good way to test them and see if there is anything on the ground is to, of course, look at the correlation coefficient to see if we have a debris ball or not. Again, lots of thunder and lightning and a lot of flooding is likely possible with these as they come on through. Let's just put a loop on this really quick to see where we're at. And you can see kind of the whole rotation thing here, right? You got this line kicking on through, and it's the north side of the line that can have a lot of rotation with it just from what we call kind of like a wake low coming on through in a way. The northern end of a line pushing through can get these little spins on the north side of it. Again, we have 4 active tornado warnings right now. This one over by Clarksville and Lake Odessa should be allowed to expire in a couple of minutes. But I think we are absolutely seeing a swirl on the radar there over by Fowler and St. John's. I think we're seeing a little hook right here and a little inflow notch right there. Likewise, inflow notch here, Boeing and hook segment there, and same thing off to the north. Okay, so we just got a radar update. Let's switch back to velocity. It's these cores that we're looking at. So one of them would be this one right here, this one right here, and then of course we got the green and the pink up there for the 3 areas of rotation that we're watching. And maybe a little bit of a hook and more development down by Lake Odessa now as well. So Lake Odessa, I would definitely be in your safe place. Carlton, Woodland, and Berry County as well. Please be in your safe place. I think we are still seeing a little bit of a hook there. Let's switch over to our debris detector, if you will. Ooh. Yeah, I don't think we're seeing debris with that right now, but the rotation and the hook is definitely there. So we could have a little bit of a land spout or gustnado situation. Now this one though, I do think we are still seeing a debris signature there. Might have fizzled out a little bit, but I think we've had a kind of a tornado touching and going through this area, north of Westphalia, south of Fowler. Now the good news is not a huge population there, but of course it just takes one home to have damage to ruin the night. We don't like that. We do not like that. And we still have those tornado warnings in the north. Not seeing anything there that I'm concerned about in terms of debris signatures or anything. I'm just going to zoom out so I get the full picture scope of what's going on here. The way that this line is approaching over Saugatuck and Douglas right now, if it keeps getting that little notch in the top side of it, I would not be surprised if we had another tornado warning issued for parts of Allegan County, for Dorr and Wayland especially. And maybe Allegan itself. Let's take a look at that. So we very well could be seeing the start of a little rotation between Douglas, and Fenville. So Saugatuck, Douglas, and Fenville. And if we do see rotation, it might be on the north side of that, so we'll have to see. We could be talking just south of actual Grand Rapids again. So I would definitely be on a little bit of a higher alert in Allegan County at the moment. Again, we have 4 active tornado warnings as of 11:26, but a couple of these will be allowed to expire momentarily. Yeah, see, we're still seeing what could be a little bit of a debris signature showing up south of St. John's. So anyone that is on the south side of this warning, which would be Price Road, Old US 27, 127, Jason Road, Pratt Road, Alward Road, and 127 over by Price. So that is south of St. John's but north of DeWitt. Very good idea to be in your safe place if you're in that warning. That could be a tornado on the ground doing damage. We now have another tornado warning that has been issued for Saginaw County. Again, a tornado warning has now been issued for Saginaw County. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're up to 5 tornado warnings now. This tornado warning for Saginaw County, let's read it together. This is in effect until 12:15 a.m. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Marion Springs or 11 miles west of St. Charles, moving east at 40 miles per hour. St. Charles and Marion Springs around 11:30 p.m. So St. Charles, Swan Creek, please be in your safe place. Let's switch it over to velocity, and now we can probably switch over to the Detroit radar. And it's because of this one coming out of Ashley, the Ashley area in Gratiot County. So that, again, that's moving off to the east northeast, which would take it awfully close to St. Charles, who is all too familiar with storm damage there. We definitely don't need that. Lakefield and Swan Creek, Shield, Saginaw Township, Hemlock, please make sure you are in your safe place. So again, we are looking at 5 active tornado warnings as of 11:29. That one by Grand Rapids should be expiring here momentarily. So we just got our new one for Saginaw County until 12:15. You can see that the one just expired over by Grand Rapids. We now just have severe thunderstorm warnings on the west side of the state. The tornado warnings are now along and east of 127. So we're getting over toward the east side of the state now. And we also, as you see here, just got issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Shiawassee County as well as Saginaw County. Shiawassee and Saginaw County severe thunderstorm warning for 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. Again, if you don't have a basement in your home, the safest place that you can be is in an interior room away from windows. You want as many walls between you and the outside as possible. So that could be a hallway, it could be a closet, it could be a bathroom, anything like that. Of course, basements are the best place to be, but not everyone has one. Just a totally unsafe place to be is a mobile home or an RV, a camper, things like that. Okay, we're getting a couple of adjustments now. All right. Still going to keep a little bit of an eye over here because this notch around Allegan does make me at least a little nervous. What you're seeing out here is just winds in the atmosphere. The actual storms are here. Okay, so again, looking at this rotation up by St. Charles, Hemlock, Lakefield, Swan Creek, and the west side of Saginaw, east of Ashley now. Elsie, Ovid, Lanesburg, those are all headed towards Shiawassee County, but I don't think we're going to see a warning issued again for Shiawassee County. So as of right now, we have 4 active tornado warnings, 2 for Gratiot County, 2 for Clinton County, 1 for Saginaw County, and one of those is overlapping. Let's put our debris indicator back on to see what we can see. And again, that little debris area has been moving all the way across Clinton County. So Lanesburg, I would be in your safe place, absolutely. Maybe even over toward Bennington, and eventually, oh, it might be fading away a little bit now. Well, we're still in the Grand Rapids radar. Let's go back. Yeah, it might be fading away a little bit now. Let's put a loop on that. Yeah, also could be just kind of getting mixed up with some hail there too. Remember, some of these will have very large hail with them. All right, and again, we got this very intense Boeing segment developing over by Holland and Allegan County. So that is making me a little nervous. That could have some very high winds with it going toward Dorr, Wayland, and eventually Holland, Hudsonville areas as well. But again, we still have these active tornado warnings. Let's just take a walk through this. We'll start in Clinton County. This one expires in 25 minutes. That'll be right at midnight. Radar indicated, but the severe thunderstorm warning is for 70-mile-per-hour winds. So that's a considerable damage threat. This tornado warning expires in 10 minutes. That's the one that's from Elsie to Ashley, kind of overlapping Gratiot and Clinton counties. The one off to the north also expiring in 10 minutes because that's for the same cell that's now moving into Saginaw County. And Saginaw County, yours will expire at 12:15 a.m. So a lot of information there. But again, if you are in a tornado warned area, please take it seriously and seek shelter. I am still concerned about this one in Clinton County headed toward Shiawassee County. It's still showing signs like it's trying to hang on. But I want to focus back over here just for a moment because I do think this is going to have some pretty intense winds with it. We'll see. We'll see about that one. Again, might be having a little bit of a notch form there in Allegan County. But we'll keep an eye on that. There's the rotation, albeit higher up in the cloud, but you can see the rotation with this one here and this one up here. These are going to be allowed to expire here momentarily. So again, if you're in St. Charles, please be in your safe place. Hemlock, Swan Creek. shields into your safe place as well. You can see the Shiawassee National Wildlife Refuge on there, so if you're near that, please be in your safe place. Okay, one of the warnings was allowed to expire. So now we are down to 3 active tornado warnings. We'll zoom out just to see what's going on here. Off to the north, we just got issued a flash flood warning. So the flash flood warning, here we go. Thompsonville, Kingsley, Manton, Sherman, Buckley, Caliva, Fife Lake, Mesick, Copemish, Hanna, Carlin, Interlochen State Park, Yuma, Spider Lake, Brethren, and Wallen are in the flash flood warning. So here's the flash flood warning. That is for southeastern Benzie County, southern Grand Traverse County, northeastern Manistee County, and northern Wexford County until 5:30 in the morning Wednesday. The area has already gotten between 1 and 2.5 inches of rain already. Additional rainfall amounts up to 1 inch are possible in the warned area. Flash flooding is expected or to begin shortly. So flash flooding is extremely dangerous. You want to do the turnaround and don't drown. You don't know if the road is even intact under the water. Please be careful and be cautious. Again, that is up north. There it is, the tornado warning that I was expecting for Allegan County. So Allegan, please be in your safe place immediately. That includes areas over by Otsego, Plainwell, and Watson. Allegan, safe place immediately. This is a serious situation. So this is a radar indicated tornado warning. This is the one I was watching for several minutes. This is until 12:30 in the morning. Again, that's for Allegan County, southeastern Allegan County. Allegan, your timing is around 11:45 p.m. Otsego around 11:55 p.m. And remember, you're hearing my voice about 2 minutes after I actually talk. So really make sure you're in your safe place. And this is uncomfortably close to Allegan. Again, uncomfortably close to Allegan. We now have another tornado warning that was just issued for Shiawassee County. So Shiawassee County, you now have a tornado warning as well. This is not including Owasso and Corunna, but it does include Lanesburg, Perry, Moorish, Bancroft, Durand, and Vernon, and Bennington. Remember, in 2019, we had the Vernon tornadoes over there, so it's been several years, but we had those tornadoes that I was covering when I was at ABC 12. So as of right now, we have a serious situation up by St. Charles, getting toward the city of Saginaw. We have a tornado warning that is about to expire in Clinton County, but you can see the rotation in the southeast corner of that headed right toward Lanesburg. So Lanesburg, I can't stress this enough, please be in your safe place. And then southern Shiawassee County, but also over by the city of Allegan. So please, please, please take caution and be in your safe places. Allegan, I am very concerned about your warning. That is a heck of a couplet showing up there. So now we are back up to 4 active tornado warnings. 4 active tornado warnings. Alright, so again, we're watching very closely for Allegan and St. Charles here. Allegan and St. Charles. Allegan, this is really coming your way. Please, please be in your safe place immediately if you are in Allegan. Let's take a look at our damage indicator here. Put a loop on it and zoom out. I don't think we're seeing much as of right now, which is good, but again, one could drop at any moment. So Allegan, Otsego, Plainwell, Watson, Martin, it is absolutely time to be in your safe places. All right, so remember, Allegan, southern Shiawassee, Clinton, and Saginaw counties are now in tornado warnings. Let's go back to the Detroit radar and take a quick check over here. So again, we're watching out carefully for St. Charles, Hemlock, and Swan Creek. Please make sure you are in your safe place. Southern Shiawassee County, especially Lanesburg. Please be in your safe place over there. That one has had a debris signature with it multiple times. And then we have this one over by Allegan County, our newest tornado warning that is very close to the city of Allegan itself. Moving over to the east, crossing 32nd Street and Lincoln Roads very shortly. So again, that is focusing on Allegan. Alright, that is pretty much right on top of Allegan now. I can't stress this enough. Allegan, please be in your safe place. Anyone south of Allegan, be in your safe place. Otsego, Plainwell, time to be in your safe places as well. I'm going to switch over to our debris detector again, see what we see. Might be seeing something now. Let's just double check it really quick. We might be seeing a really weak debris signature, but we can double check that. Let's see if it lines up with the hail. The hail might be a little delayed right now. Okay, but yes, definitely some rotation in the radar returns there. Shiawassee County, we're still watching out for Lanesburg and Bennington. Lanesburg, Bennington, Perry, Moorish, Bancroft, Durand, Vernon, watching out for you. Right over St. Charles, moving towards Swan Creek. Right over St. Charles, moving towards Swan Creek. The velocity here is intense in two areas, down by Brant and then right over St. Charles. I wouldn't be surprised if this is extended to the northeast to include the city of Saginaw and Frankenmuth. We'll see if that gets expanded off to the east. But here is that return right by Lanesburg. Again, you can see the couplet there very distinctly. So here we have wind going that way and wind swirling around this way as well. That's how you know there's some rotation there. Those are some bright colors up there, so hopefully that's not translating down to the ground. We are a little bit far away from a radar site, but hopefully we're not seeing that translate down to the ground. Again, another peek at the Allegan situation, watching this area very carefully. In terms of correlation coefficient, remember our debris detector doesn't look like we're seeing a whole lot. Yeah, I'm not. I would say that might be more just like hail messing with it than debris. So that would be great. We don't need to see debris once this thing passes Allegan. We now also have severe thunderstorm warnings for Berry County and Eaton counties. Berry County and Eaton counties. So we have 4 severe thunderstorm warnings. Some of those are including multiple counties, and 3 tornado warnings in effect as of 11:47. We also have a flash flood warning off to the north between Traverse City and Cadillac. let's switch over to velocity again. We're still seeing that bullseye by Lanesburg and Bennington, which is really uncomfortably close to Owasso and Corunna. And then we're watching for this notch in Saginaw County by St. Charles, Swan Creek, and Brant as well. You are more than welcome to toss a comment of where you're watching me from. I can't see too many of them, but I will try my best. So again, we have 3 active tornado warnings right now, and we have 4 active severe thunderstorm warnings right now. Time is 11:49. I'm going to just kind of take a walk through from west to east here one more time. Switch back over to the Grand Rapids radar momentarily, maybe. There we go. Okay. At Seago and Plainwell, it is absolutely time to be in your safe place. Yep, so that right there makes me very uncomfortable. We have a lot of rotation right there. So again, it's very basic. Red is away from the radar site in Grand Rapids. Green and blue is toward it. And when it starts going like that, we can see that there's rotation. Just think about your hands. One of them's going toward you, one of them's going away from you. And then if you had a pencil or a marker or something in there, it would be rotating, right? That's what a tornado does too, what we can see on radar. So a very strong rotation signature there. We're still looking at this one over in Shiawassee County as well. See how it kind of looks like a yin-yang there? Another way that you can tell. Let's use red for this one. So we got winds swooping in, winds trying to go away, and that's right over Bennington at the moment. So Bennington, please be in your safe place. That would be, at this point, looks like pretty much going due east or slightly northeast. This might need to be extended to include Owasso and Corunna as well. Then we also have the tornado warning with a couple of strong signatures, one by Swan Creek and one south of St. Charles. Genesee County, which is Flint, Swartz Creek, Flushing, Grand Blanc, has now been issued a severe thunderstorm warning as well. 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. Owasso and Corunna, I would be in your safe places as well. This might be curving off to the northeast. I think this warning needs to be reissued and extended off in that direction. So Owasso and Corunna, be in your safe place now as well in central Shiawassee County. Central Shiawassee County. There's that very strong rotation right over at Seago. I can't stress this enough. At Seago and Plainwell, it is beyond time to be in your safe place. Please be in your safe place. Not seeing debris show up there, but that doesn't mean that a tornado can't drop with seconds notice. Not seeing strong debris signatures with any of these, which is great. But that doesn't mean that we're out of the woods or that they should not be taken seriously. They were issued for a reason. Again, if you're just joining, a little while ago I talked about the Union City tornado that was about a month ago. We saw the videos of that, right? How fast it formed. I mean, it formed, and within what, 20 seconds, we were lifting houses off the ground. So that is why a tornado warning is very important to take seriously immediately. Because if you wait, that kind of defeats the purpose of the warning, and then you might be in a life or death situation. We don't wait until it's on the ground causing damage to issue a warning because that also defeats the purpose. We like to warn people to give them enough lead time to get into shelter and not just say, hey, by the way, your roof just lifted off. Warning, you know. So, all right, let's go back to velocity here. Velocity is just hands down the best way to pinpoint the location of a tornado. So, yes, we have that rotation right over Bennington. Over by St. Charles, and right over Otsego and Plainwell. This one is very defined on radar. So again, Otsego and Plainwell in Allegan County, it is time to be in your safe place. Absolutely time to be in your safe place there. That is a very strong rotational signature on the radar. You can see how that's swooping in really quick. Again, that's going to go right over Otsego and Plainwell. I cannot stress this enough. Please be in your safe places. This will likely be extended into another tornado warning that will probably include Battle Creek. So again, that would likely include Battle Creek. If that warning is reissued, it's likely to clip Kalamazoo County as well, so we'll likely hear some sirens going off there too. Alright, let's go to a different radar site. Just checking on our friends in extreme southwest Michigan. We're looking okay for now. Biggest concern right now is Otsego and Plainwell. I do not like seeing that right on top of two communities. That is not a good thing at all. There, we just got an update. Let's just throw the damage detector on here to see. Ugh. Yeah, that's really difficult. That's not glaringly obvious to me, so we'll just leave that one alone. Nothing too obvious there either. Okay, so in terms of damage detection, not seeing a whole lot. But we can still see these notches, right? And this one's right on the top of this warning. So Vernon and Durand, definitely be in your safe place now. We'll give a little lead time to Swartz Creek as well. So Swartz Creek, Vernon, Durand, Lennon, please be in your safe places. I don't think this warning is going to be extended into the Saginaw area at this point. Allegan County, this one might be extended. We just got severe thunderstorm warnings for Kalamazoo County, borderline Union City. So look at that swirl. See that right over Otsego and Plainwell? Look at the swirl. The storm is literally hooking in, and then this is what we call an inflow notch. So that's where the tornado would be. Hopefully just outside of the city limits, but that is a close call. Otsego and Plainwell, it's still in your safe places. Please, please, please. That is a very strong signature there. And again, don't worry about this straight line. That's likely some hail in the storm that's kind of messing with things. I don't see something that I would obviously call a debris ball. not seeing that. All right, there's the new tornado warning that I was expecting earlier. So that is now for Saginaw County. That includes, oh, there, now we have a debris ball by St. Charles, just southeast of St. Charles. All right. Burt Foster's, Birch Run, and Frankenmuth itself. Bridgeport, time to be in our safe places. This one, that blue spike there, that is what is looking like to be a debris ball. And just explaining what correlation coefficient is, I'm just going to call it damage detection because that's basically what I'm using it for, at least. It's got many uses, but in this case, damage detection. So what it looks for is uniform sizes. It likes when everything is the same size. So think about it like when you have vanilla ice cream. It's just vanilla, right? So that would show up as this like greenish purple beige color, whatever you want to call it. When it starts detecting chocolate chips and M&Ms, it's going to show up as blue and green on here because there's things that are different sizes. And it knows that they're different sizes, so it assigns a color to it. And therefore, we can tell usually that, hey, there's something besides rain and hail in the cloud. There's sticks, leaves, God forbid, 2x4s, shingles, roofs, things like that. So we can see debris on the radar. And that is what is starting to go over East Road right now. So again, here is the rotation that we are seeing on the radar. You got the green, which is technically going down toward the radar, and the red, which is going away from the radar. And when they're right next to each other, we know that there's swirling motion in the clouds. Now, this could just be higher up. However, seeing the debris ball means it has at least touched down briefly, and it can touch down again and again and again very easily and very rapidly. So anyone that is kind of on this no man's land stretch of I-75 that's 4 lanes in each direction, if you live near that, please be cautious. So that would be, we're getting into the, I believe, the 120s for exits that direction. I think 141 I think is the Frankenmuth exit. So then we have our tornado warning down by Vernon and Durand as well. So that's mainly on the north side of this warning. Swartz Creek and Flint, we're going to watch out carefully. You might have a tornado warning issued in your neck of the woods. And there's that tornado warning that has now been extended for southern Barry County. So a brand new tornado warning has been issued for southern Barry County. This is radar indicated and will expire at 12:45 a.m. This is expected to mainly stay over rural areas of southern Barry County, including the following locations: Prairieville, Hickory Corners, Dowling, Delton, Pine Lake, Banfield, Assyria, and Lacey. And again, that is with this area of rotation right here. So let's just put on our damage detector. Again, not seeing anything glaringly obvious there, which is good. So still southern Barry County, please take this seriously. And still watching for a little bit of a debris signature north of Burt, south of Saginaw. So again, we have this one warning, which will expire in about 13 minutes. Maybe they'll cancel it a little bit earlier. But right now, Saginaw County, the eastern part of Saginaw County, with Frankenmuth and Birch Run, Burt, Bridgeport, we are still in a tornado warning. It is time to be in our safe place. If you don't have a basement, you can easily just get into the most interior room of your home, one that has the most walls between you and the outside as possible. Also, one that doesn't have any windows is the absolute best place to be. All right, so technically right now we're back up to 5 tornado warnings, but 3 of those will be allowed to expire here momentarily. I'm going to keep an eye on Genesee County, though. I'm keeping an eye on Genesee County especially. What is that? What is that? What is that? What is that? We're also seeing maybe a hook over New Lothrop, Montrose, Flushing, Mount Morris, and Clio. I would just be prepared for a tornado warning to be issued there. I think Genesee County is going to have a tornado warning here momentarily from one of these. We got multiple areas of potential rotation along this line coming on through. So again, watching out for Genesee County and Saginaw County because this area of rotation by Durand is really starting to ramp up. Really starting to ramp up. So we're getting the motion to and away from the radar here, which indicates the swirling right over Durand. And again, if anyone was sleeping right now and you were nervous about how to get a warning, I do have in the comment section a link to Weather Call NextGen. I am affiliated with them now, so through our partnership, we're just trying to keep people safe. You will get a phone call on your phone, so if your sound is on, it'll wake you up. And that only happens with severe thunderstorm warnings, tornado warnings, something that is life and death. I got a lovely text message that I am just thrilled about that told me there was lightning nearby. And then I got another text message that the tornado watch was issued, and that was within seconds of it being issued. So if you're a golfer, a boater, a camper, a great service for you to have. It does follow you around, not follow you, but you can set your location to update, and it will keep you updated like that. It's just $15 for the whole year. That's like $1.25 a month, if that. And it's just super cool to have. It's not an app, it doesn't take up space on your phone. When you click the radar link, it's in a text and it opens on your browser. It's good for elderly if they have flip phones because they'll just get a phone call or a little text message. And again, it's instantly as the warning is issued, instantaneously, which is great. So again, watching out for this area of rotation now getting towards Swartz Creek and Lennon. Also Flint Township, Clayton Township, Flushing, and then still watching out for Birch Run and Frankenmuth. So now we're getting parallel to the radar. It's going to be really hard to see these for a second. Because when you don't have winds coming and going and they're matching up with this line going through the radar, yeah. Then of course we're still watching out for southern Barry County as well. Let's put our damage detector back on just to see what's going on there. Not seeing anything glaringly obvious, that is great. Not seeing anything glaringly obvious with any of these. And I'm sorry if I get quiet for a second. Sometimes I just need to concentrate before I tell you guys something, so I don't say something that's inappropriate or out of context or wrong information, stuff like that. Okay. Again, I would just really be on alert. Swartz Creek and Flint. Flint Township, just really be on alert. So as of right now, it looks like the center of the potential rotation is pretty much right over Bridgeport. I do apologize, it is a little hard to see right now because we're kind of paralleling the radar in Detroit. But it does look like the most dire area, if you will, appears to be over Bridgeport, and then eventually that'll move towards Frankenmuth. Also, just really keeping our eye on parts of Genesee County. There's just a lot of rotating motion still going on. This is a very difficult call. That's probably why nothing's been issued yet, because I also am just kind of like, what's going on? Still, Genesee County, I would be ready, again, to be in your safe place at a moment's notice. Or if you're nervous, you're more than welcome to head down there now. And again, still looking at the rotation, the intense rotation that is going through southern Berry County. Let's put a loop on this one and watch it go through. See, that is intense. That is an intense area of rotation. So this, which is going to go pretty much due east, just north of the Berry, Kalamazoo, Calhoun County line, that one could drop a tornado any moment if it hasn't already. So that is absolutely a warning to take seriously there. You should take all warnings seriously, but that one is so obvious that something's going on there. And again, we're seeing some broad rotation over Swartz Creek now, Gaines Township. This will get into Mundy Township. Man, a lot of rotation with these storms. Okay, the tornado warning has been expired for Saginaw County. Has been expired for Saginaw County. So Saginaw County, you are no longer in a tornado warning. We now have 2 tornado warnings left. One for Berry County and one for Shiawassee County. That is really kind of irrelevant at the moment. Genesee County, again, be vigilant, especially if you're over in Swartz Creek, Mundy Township, and that'll eventually be over where like Hill Road goes over 23. Bishop International Airport. Alright, let's take a closer look. Well, not a closer look. Let's take a broader look at what is going on here. So you can see pretty much the whole line has warnings with it. Let's take a quick jog off to the north. We have that flash flood warning in effect. But notice how we're also seeing more rainfall up north and for the Sheboygan area. Really quickly, I am keeping an eye on those tornadoes, don't worry. But really quickly, the Sheboygan River watershed actually goes like a lot further than you think it would. It covers pretty much this whole area with one access point out that dam. So the water going through that dam is all of this. Ooh, huge area, and it's still raining there. And I'll check on those updates here in a moment for y'all. Alright, so we have allowed the tornado warning in Shiawassee County to expire. Well, wait. Okay. It looks like it was just flashing for a minute. So that means it just expired. But now we have severe thunderstorms through the Lansing area, severe thunderstorms through Genesee County and Swartz Creek. However, I would still pay very close attention to these storms because, as you can see, the damage threat is considerable with this severe thunderstorm warning. Tornado possible. 70-mile-per-hour winds are likely. So let's switch it over to the wind mode. And that would be the 70-mile-per-hour wind possibility that you can see there. And that's indicated right here. Again, we're not too far away from the Detroit radar, so the likelihood of this making it to the surface is actually possible. So 70-mile-per-hour wind gust will likely go through off to the east here. That would be from Baldwin Road to Grand Blanc Road up toward Hill Road. So pretty much right along Grand Blanc Road. Now, I'm very familiar with that spot. So if you are along Grand Blanc Road in Genesee County, which does include Thornridge, Heatherwood, the Grand, those apartment complexes, get ready for some very high winds to come by. I know that because I used to live there. But yes, we could have 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts headed into Mundy Township and Grand Blanc. And here's why we know things are rotating. I mean, you got 73, 74 miles per hour outbound and 20 to 30 miles per hour inbound. So that's about 110 mile per hour difference. That's a lot. That's how we know things are rotating there. Good rotation at that. That's speedy. All right, let's go back to a more clean radar for everyone to see here. So it looks like we're still, we're just expecting the high winds going through Genesee County. Now, the sirens might be going off in Flint and Genesee County because they can be triggered for winds over 70 miles per hour. So if you do hear the tornado sirens, it's because damaging winds are coming through. Alright, so again, we still have this active tornado warning for Delton moving toward Assyria, I believe it's called. Radar indicated. So still no major updates there. We just got a new scan in though, so let's take a look at the velocity, and there's the velocity. So obviously this is a very defined area of rotation here. While we have that up there, let's take a look at our damage detector again. There's nothing glaringly obvious. If there's a big blue ball there, that means that it's called a debris ball, and I'm not seeing that, so that's good. I don't want to see that, especially in the middle of the night. I think we're just seeing some wind and hail with this in Swartz Creek right now. Maybe a couple other little hail cores that sped on through as well. Yeah, most likely. Let's take a look at our hail tracker. Oh yeah, see? Yep, it was picking up on that hail. So we had a good round of hail go through downtown Flint. Pretty much right over the ABC 12 studios that I used to work at. Looks like we got a little bit of hail possible over on the west side too. We're down to one active tornado warning now. Otherwise, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 active severe thunderstorm warnings. 60 mile per hour wind, 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 60 mile per hour wind. Well, it looks like the severe thunderstorm warning for Genesee County was updated to 60 mile per hour winds also. I wonder if that means we got a reading in from the airport. We had a 46 mile per hour wind gust in Corunna. We had 47 in Otsego and Plainwell. A couple 30s in Lansing. It doesn't look like we had a lot of wind translate down to the surface so far. Alright, let me get you back on something a little more familiar here. Still watching the rotation. There's still some notches showing up here. I wouldn't be surprised if another tornado warning was issued around Grand Blanc still. Still got some notches showing up there. They're not very tight. We're awfully close to the radar site. So for it not being too tight there, yeah, we'll just be letting that one ride for a minute. It's maintained shape. It's not doing a whole lot. Let's take a check over in southern Barry County. We still have our rotating supercell there. Still radar indicated, which means we have not seen a debris ball yet. And of course, we still have our heavy storms over by Paw Paw going into Kalamazoo right now. Severe thunderstorms. Alright, so... Oops. Not seeing any new storm reports. Let me see what I can see on a different app here for you guys. Honestly, not seeing a whole lot. Just the 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts at the National Weather Service. They might have just caught a brief spin up there. Ooh, nice lightning bolt just went across the whole sky in Grand Rapids. That's cool. Alright. So yeah, we're looking at that one tornado warning in rural areas of Barry County. Rural areas of Barry County. Pretty much right along the Barry Calhoun County border right now, just north of Battle Creek. See, now that might be more of just broad rotation, but it's still good that it's warned because it was pretty intense earlier. Now we have Oakland County and Livingston County under severe thunderstorm warnings also, by the way. I do apologize I wasn't calling those out earlier. I'm just trying to focus on the tornadoes for a second. Let's go to regular radar mode. So it's this Boeing segment coming down out of Grand Blanc. So Fenton, Holly, Ortonville, near the Holly Rec area. Goodrich, this Boeing segment is likely headed your way. Let's put a loop on it here for you. Yeah, so that's definitely going to clip Goodrich, Fenton, Holly, Ortonville. I think we're getting into Brandon. Yep. And eventually Great Lakes Crossing, Clarkson, Independence Township. Let's switch it over to our velocity. There's going to be a lot of wind coming through with these things. You know, something else we could look at quickly too is I do believe this bad boy comes with power outages, county outages. Okay. So in terms of power outages, this is what we got going on. We got 12,000 people out in Allegan County. Berry County, we have about 8,000 people out. Kent County, about 7,500. Montcalm County, about 827. Gratiot County, about 1,500. Clinton County, about 800. Shiawassee County, about 4,500 without power right now. So definitely getting some damage, some gusty winds with these storms, and a lot of rainfall, a lot of lightning strikes too. Absolute a lot of those. All right, so let's clean this up. We'll go turn that off and take a closer look at these again. So the warning in Oakland County is for 60-mile-per-hour winds and 1-inch hail, and that warning will be in effect until 12:30. Wait, I'm sorry, 1:30. 1:30. And still watching the tornado warning in southern Berry County very closely. Looks like we just got an update there, so let's switch it over again to velocity. Oh, we need a better radar site, so we'll go to Grand Rapids. And I think we're seeing more broad rotation now. Kind of like what we're seeing in Genesee County. This will likely be allowed to expire before it gets over toward Bellevue and Olivet. And just so everyone's aware, we could be going through this tomorrow night again, by the way. So if your plans tomorrow include taking a nap, me too. And don't forget, flooding is still a very real concern behind all this as well. Once this tornado warning expires, I will be hopping off here, but I will hop back on if I see another tornado warning. All these severe thunderstorm warnings that are issued right now are for what I deem borderline cases. A severe thunderstorm is 1-inch diameter hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. So if they're all being warned for that bottom tier threshold, we'll let crawls and stuff handle that. And of course, my weather call service too. So one last tornado warning that we're watching here, and I do think it'll be allowed to expire as well. I think this was 18 minutes. Okay, oh, it'll be expired early, I'm sure. So again, heavy storms going through Genesee County, now entering Oakland County as well as Livingston County. So just focusing on our friends over here for a second, since we got a nice high-res radar image right next to the radar site. Holly, Goodrich, Ortonville, Tyrone Township, eventually Highland Heartland, White Lake, Waterford Township. All those areas are going to kind of be in the line here, but Atlas and Goodrich especially also, and then once we get toward Hadley and Metamora, watch out for the north end of this thing. Sometimes those can get a little squirrely and rotate a little bit. Again, our lone tornado warning in Berry County will likely be allowed to expire here momentarily. Alright, we still got a bunch of storms moving on through. All of these severe thunderstorm warnings are for, well, we got the one in Genesee County, 70-mile-per-hour winds. Oakland County, 60, 60, 60, 70-mile-per-hour winds in Calhoun County as well. While we're waiting for that to see if it does anything, I'm just going to take a quick look on my other screen at tomorrow's potential. It's going to be another overnight round, unfortunately. Probably about 10 p.m. into the early morning hours of Thursday. Alright, with even more rain coming. So now we have pretty heavy storms, across much of the lower peninsula. If you're not in a warning, like in the thumb, you still have heavy storms coming down, which will exacerbate flooding even more. Flooding is definitely going to be the name of the game here for a minute. All these are now moving into southeast Michigan. Off to the north, we still have that flash flood warning in effect. And, you know, just to peek at the UP, nothing's going on up there. Alright, let's see what the last couple scans have brought for our tornado warning that we have. It has now moved out of the warning area. We do not have another warning continuing it. So the Berry County tornado warning hasn't officially expired yet, but I'm calling it. It's expired. There's nothing there anymore. If that was extended, it would have been extended into northern Calhoun County and southern Eaton counties, but I don't see that happening either. Alright, that warning was allowed to expire. We are officially tornado warning free as of 12:35 a.m. These storms are still to be taken seriously now. They're headed through Livingston County, Battle Creek, Calhoun County. I will be posting updates, but I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of struggling to sit here right now and talk more, so I'm going to take a little bit of a break. I will just post more posts, and if anything tornado-y does happen again, or we get a thunderstorm damage that's absolutely destroying a city or something, I will absolutely hop back on here for you guys. But for now, I'm going to take a little break. The live video that I'll start after this, I'll just keep this looping for you guys. How about that? I'll do that. So look for that to restart though, because I don't want to attach this 2 hour long video. 3 hour long, I don't know, something like that. Anyway, thank you so much. I hope everyone is safe. And again,